Welcome to There Is a Method to the Madness. My name is Rob Maxwell. I'm an exercise physiologist and personal trainer. I'm the owner of Maxwell's fitness programs, and I've been in business for the past 25 years. So I asked one of my clients the other day about a nice topic for a podcast, and I tend to ask the ones that I know basically really appreciate them, listen to them, and you gain knowledge from them, because that's the biggest reason why I make these. I want people to gain the knowledge that I think they need to have to be successful. So my client named Harpreet, and I told him, I said, Harpreet asks. So you know what? Harpreet asks. He kind of knows the answer, but he wants to hear more about it. So did he really ask, or did he just ask me to reiterate? I think that's the case. In any event, he asked me to expound upon my philosophy of you can't outrun a poor diet, or you can't out-train a poor diet, whichever way you want to say it. So I said, that's great. And based on the amount of downloads I get on Spotify and the other servers that host my podcast, when I talk about diet and things like that, a lot more people are interested, and I think it's because people are just so freaking confused about it, and in a way it's maddening because it's so simple. Hard, but that's what people don't like. It's hard to not overeat. We want to. That lizard brain wants to eat. That's what we're genetically programmed to do. It just doesn't work, especially in our current society that we live in. So it is simple. We have to take in fewer calories than we put out, but it's hard to do. All right, so let's talk about how you can't outrun a poor diet. I'm going to read from one of my favorite chapters, and it's written from an author I think is really good. It's me. Obviously, I'm kidding around a little bit, but I am going to read just a piece of my book, There's a Method to the Madness, because I wrote a whole chapter about this. And the chapter is called You Can't Outrun a Poor Diet. Man, oh man, I wish you could outrun a poor diet, but experience and research states you can. What do I mean by this? The way you try to lose weight by doing more cardiorespiratory exercise to burn off the extra food that you eat does not work. Let me give you a little background on what really does work. To lose weight, you must burn more calories than you put in. Most people want to lose weight. That's true. Most in the United States need to lose weight. Getting to a healthy weight and maintaining that weight is one of the best things you can do for your metabolism and health. There you go. If you want to learn more, read my book. No, just kidding. So that's from that chapter, You Can't Outrun a Poor Diet. And most people in this country do want to lose weight. Most people hire a personal trainer to lose weight. And, if they're not going to do the diet part, that is not going to happen. And yes, most people in the United States need to lose weight. 60 to 70%, somewhere in between, just under 70% actually, of our country, the U.S., is overweight or obese. That means 30% of the people who are of a healthy weight are now considered abnormal. Think about that. Let that sink in. 30%, maybe 34% tops of our population is of a healthy weight, and they're abnormal. That's pretty messed up. This isn't about fat shaming. This is about health. Okay, you talk about a drain on the medical system. This is about health. Billions are spent each year in the medical industry due to the fact of obesity leading to diabetes and heart disease. So it's a problem. It's a problem I think everybody should take serious. And, are people trying? Yes, they are. I think the rate of people trying to get in better shape is higher than it's been. I think there's still a lot of false information out there regarding how to do it. And that's, again, a big reason for this podcast, is to try to dispel some of these myths. And one of them is that you can just simply eat however the hell you want to eat and work out, and you're going to be fine. And you know what? That's only true for two kinds of people, all right? One just the person who is like genetically ingrained to be absolutely ripped. And let me tell you something, after a certain age, that's really not even a reality for anybody, okay? And I'll get back into that in a second. The second one is the person who is already in the shape that they really want to be in, a lean shape, whatever that might be. Then yeah, they can't get away with it for a long time, but for a little while, until the habits catch up. They always say, and there's a lot of truth to it, we are a product of our choices 6 months ago. I mean, that's absolutely true. So, I could tell a little story on that. And when I was 27 years old, I did my first bodybuilding contest, and I was young, so I had, all that on my side, and I ate like impeccably for 2.5 to 3 months, and I got to lowest body fat percentage probably ever in my life. I was a little bit over 3%, and that was essential body fat. And I was young and still, fairly uneducated in the true sense of my career. I mean, I was working on my master's, and I was, I was beginning to learn, but there was so much information I was ignorant about still at that time. So, I don't think I did it on purpose, but slightly, somewhere after that show, that period, I basically just was like, eating whatever the hell I wanted to eat. And I had gotten burned out with with bodybuilding at that point. I did that show, and at that point I called it one and done. I did some later in my life, a couple of years ago, a master's athlete, but at that point I was kind of burned out and a little turned off on it too. Like, I just didn't think it was the healthiest sport in the world. And I was working on my master's in exercise physiology, and all of my professors and most of my peers were doing triathlon, which was still relatively new at the time, and they just seemed really cool, kind of chill, more laid back, healthy, and whatever. So, I did what a lot of young college students do. I'd followed the pack, and I started doing them. And so, again, I was lean from the bodybuilding show, and I could already still stay relatively lean anyway. And so I was doing these triathlons. Let me tell you, I was running, and I never really ran before. I was cycling. I never biked that way before. I was swimming. I never swam laps before. So I was doing all these things, and pretty much just eating what I thought to be healthy, and it was pretty healthy, but eating just whatever the hell I wanted to, like, and not really even realizing it. Like, I stuck to my rules pretty much. Like, I didn't eat pure junk food, but man, I was eating like as much pasta as I wanted to, pancakes, and by the way, don't tell me carbs are bad. Carbs aren't bad, okay? Eating like a pig is bad, and that's what I was doing because I was justifying it. And I was walking around in a department store one evening with a friend of mine, and like I said, at this age of 27, I didn't think a whole hell of a lot about weight. Like, I didn't jump on the scale a lot. I'd done this show, and don't get me wrong, I wasn't out of shape, but for some reason there was a scale sitting in the department store, and I'm like, I'm going to stand on this. I haven't weighed myself in a while. And I remember jumping on it. I was like, what would I have been? I was like 21 pounds over. It's funny how I say like 21. That's a pretty specific number. So anyway, 21 pounds over from what I was when I competed, and I was kind of like, holy shit. Like, I'm running, 20, 30 miles a week or something like that, biking 25 miles at a time, 3 or 4 times a week, and swimming 3 days a week, and still lifting. I'm like, what? So it was like kind of my first wake-up call. Like, you cannot just eat how you want to eat and expect not to gain weight, So, like, that was my first personal story of that. And then, of course, like everybody, I've gone through times where I just want to believe it. I mean, it's funny, us fitness nuts, whatever you want to call us, we still think like you guys, whoever you guys are. I mean, we still, like, will justify, I can do that, I can do this. It's like, it comes down to, our better selves saying, reeling us back in. But, like, everybody thinks we're like superhuman or something, and we love to exercise. We love sprints on the treadmill, and we love that 19th rep of squats, and we love, eating couscous and quinoa, versus crap food. No, man, no. We've just trained ourselves to do what is best for us in the long run and not the short haul. That's the bottom line. So, and then, since these days of experience and throughout my career, and then, doing research, studies have shown over and over and over that you cannot outrun a bad diet. You just can't. Okay. Let me give you a little illustration, and I do this in my book too. Let's say you're an average sized man of 170 pounds or whatever, and that's me, by the way. So, and you run 30 minutes, all right, continuous run for 30 minutes at a normal pace, whatever. And actually, it really doesn't matter what the pace is. So you run for 30 minutes, 170 pounds, you're going to burn around 330 calories, all right? That's not bad. I mean, that's not a bad output for 30 minutes. It's really not. It took me 30 minutes, okay? That's one slice of pizza. One slice of pizza. I've never timed myself, how fast I can eat a piece of pizza. But I think if I really tried, it could be 10 seconds. I think I could roll that bad boy up and, huff it down, risking choking myself to death. But I think I probably can do that in 10 seconds. I damn sure know I can eat it in less than a minute or two, which is like if you've been to New York City or anywhere else, you've got a slice or two of pizza for a snack or a meal, and you stand out on the street, you're eating it pretty quick, and you can take any food. I mean, so if you went to McDonald's, Scott, I hope people listening to this podcast are not going to McDonald's. I take that back. I hope they are, because, I shouldn't be preaching to the choir here. I should be preaching to people who need to hear it. So, if you get a typical Big Mac meal, I guess that would be, and I really in this case have to say I guess because I do not get this stuff, but a Big Mac, a fry, and a Coke or whatever, or maybe even skip the Coke. I do know for research purposes, I've looked into this before, that meal's about 1,000 calories, and if you get the large fry, it's 1,300. So that's without the Coke, by the way. So that's a damn lot of calories, all right? The average person, I have no idea. A typical person, I'm sure, can eat that in 5 to 10 minutes, right? Sit down at their lunch break, eat that in 10 minutes. So you just consume 1,300 calories, 1,000 to 1,300 calories in 10 minutes. But it's going to cost you 30 vigorous minutes to burn 330, all right? And you're thinking, well, those are kind of like ridiculous examples, but see, they're really not. The whole point is it takes very little time to overeat, and it takes a lot of time to burn off calories. So you cannot outrun a poor diet. It's just too damn easy. And for you people who think you're being healthy, all right, like I tell this story in my book, but I did a talk for a running group years and years ago, and I was talking about this kind of stuff, how training for a marathon and training for 10Ks and training for triathlons is all fantastic, great stuff. But too many people do it to lose weight. And I would argue that to lose weight, is going to take, as I've always said, 90% diet, and then get into these sports to help you maintain that weight loss because you simply don't want to go back to where you were. That's fantastic. But when we think we're automatically going to do these kind of sports, because, it's exercise, but it's a sport too when you're training for an event, to lose weight, what's going to end up happening is you're going to overeat to compensate for your hunger and your potential overstress that you're putting yourself through. So anyway, I was speaking to this group talking about this kind of stuff. And lo and behold, on my drive home, I stop at Panera to get a coffee or something. And there's at least 5 of the people in there. And, I don't expect everybody to hear something and change. It was just so ironic and funny that the same group was grabbing, their loaded up bagels and, their frappuccinos and, whatever drinks that are so full of calories. And I see that so commonly among endurance athletes of every shape and size because, and I've done them and I do them and I get it. You can be so famished after you've pushed yourself vigorously for a period of time, and it's very natural to crave sugar. Like your body is going to be, it's deprived. You've worn down your glycogen to a large extent, and now your body is craving sugar. It's craving it. Plus, emotionally, mentally, you've just stressed yourself, so you're craving it that way too. So you're going to want the sweet stuff. And again, carbs aren't bad, okay? Carbs aren't bad, but there's a huge difference between a nice, healthy, moderate-sized bowl of oatmeal and a cinnamon raisin bagel with low-fat cream cheese chased down with a Frappuccino. There's a huge difference, and you know what that difference is? It's 3 times the calories. That's all. The sweet stuff is so easy to eat in a fast period of time, all right? So it's not the way to do it. If you think, I'm going to, lose this weight because I'm training for this marathon, it is not going to happen. I've had clients gain over 10 pounds. These are women. And I say that because women are a smaller stature most of the time than men. Gain over 10 pounds training for a marathon. So they're running, it depends on the athlete I've had, but anywhere from 60 to 80 miles a week and gain 10 pounds over the course of 4 months. Think about that. I mean, that is a lot of energy burned. But what ends up happening is we end up justifying and rationalizing our eating habits because we are working so much. We deserve it, we say. It's just not true. Again, once you get to a given weight that you're happy with, you can kind of relax a little bit. A little bit. How much? I don't know. That's up to you. Only you know what cheap treats you can afford once you get to your given weight. But while you're trying to get there and you just simply think that you're going to just burn this off later, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. It is not going to work. Your body, number one, is going to fight you back every step of the way because it just doesn't like bad behavior. And the other thing is, it's just common sense. It's just math, It's just the amount of calories you can consume in a half hour compared to the amount of calories you can burn in a half hour is not even close. You're not going to be able to do it. So if you really want to lose weight, you got significant weight to lose, or you have 5 pounds of belly fat, you just don't like it. You want that beach bod body, and summer's coming, and you want to be able to wear your baggy shorts down to the beach and show off all them 6-pack abs. Or if you're a female, you want to wear that bikini and show off your flat tummy and your lines in your thighs and all that kind of stuff. Great. I mean, great, whatever, There's nothing wrong with trying to reach peak fitness, If it makes you feel good about yourself, there's nothing wrong with it. Unless you're trying to do it in unhealthy ways. But if that is you, and that might just be 5 pounds, that's not a lot, Some people are so close, I have bodybuilder friends, that I follow on social media, and they'll say things like, I always try to stay 5 pounds away from stage ready. That means they let 5 pounds go, but they know those 5 pounds need to come off if they're going to show off their perfect abs or whatever. So they stay close, but they know where they're at. But here's the key: when they go to burn those 5 pounds, even though they're already in elite shape, they have to attack this thing like a war, not a battle. A battle's like, well, I'm going to crank up my cardio a little bit and keep eating like shit. No, They're going to attack it like they've got 50 pounds to lose, which means they're going to eat very, very clean, and they're not going to starve themselves because that's not healthy for anybody, but they're going to eat within their means, whatever that might be. For a guy, that might be 2,000 calories. For a female, that might be 1,500 calories. I don't know. But that's what they're going to do. They're not going to say, I'm just going to up my cardio. Not happening. Not people that have experience. They absolutely know better than to do that. So that's just not going to happen. They're going to attack it, and they're going to do it the right way. So that's you, okay? For anybody that might just say, but I only have 5 pounds to lose. What's wrong with a couple nights a week having some beer, some wine, and some pizza? It's like, well, wrong with it? Nothing. A choice that's going to lead to the ideal you that you're trying to strive for? No, not going to happen. And I don't care if you get up in the morning and do that extra 60 minutes of cardio, okay? Not going to work. Your body just doesn't work that way. All right? So one final point on all this, and that's those silly wearables everybody's wearing. How many calories I burn at the end of the day. People, it's not accurate. Stop it. If you want to wear it during your workout to track your heart rate and all those good things, or you got some silly competition going on with your friends and that keeps you motivated, by all means. But as far as really judging your output, it's not even close. So don't waste your time, all right? Don't waste your time. Just focus mostly on your diet. When you're working out, focus on the quality of your workout, not how many calories you burn. You know, gosh, as a trainer, it is so annoying to hear a client go, oh, so-and-so burns so many more calories when they work out. It's like, I hate to break it to you, but, you know, consider yourself grateful because they outweigh you by 50 pounds, and that's why that's happening. So calorie output has a lot more to do with our current body weight that we programmed versus the kind of workout we did, okay? It's not accurate, all right? Nothing wrong with Apple doing it either. You know, Apple's in the business to make money. You know, we have to educate ourselves on the tools that we need for us, all right? Wearables are fine. I wear one. I wear an Apple Watch sometimes. I wear a Garmin sometimes to track my GPS when I run. I don't use it for calories. It's ridiculous. It doesn't work. That's my final point on that. And I hope you listen, all right? All right. So I want to thank our sponsors, all right? Jonathan and Lynn Gilden of the Gilden Group Realty. They're fantastic. Obviously, they're real estate agents, and they work for Realty Pros, and they have the top 5-star ratings in the whole area. They will get you what you need if you're looking for it. And we all know right now it's a hot market. And let me tell you right now, I battle that. I've had different real estate agents before, and it's easy to sell a house right now. It's easy. The houses are selling themselves, but you need agents that can find you what you're looking for. And if you're moving to Florida, well, okay, I won't give my real opinion on that because I don't want to hurt anybody's business who's trying to sell homes. But I would say stay home. No, I'm just kidding. But if you are moving to Florida and, you know, you live here already and you're looking for a home, that's the hard part. And that's where the good real estate agents come in. That's where they're going to get out there and find you what you need. And Jonathan and Lynn Gilden of the Gilden Group and Realty Pros will do that for you. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic, and they're in the fitness, so that means they hustle. Let me tell you, they do hustle. So watch for them. They can be reached at thegildengroup.com, and we appreciate them. This podcast isn't free. This costs us money to put on, and they help front that money. So, you know, until next time, be Max Fit, be Maxwell.